For a while now, Kia have had a fairly useful lineup of cars, from small city runabouts to family sedans, from soft-roaders to SUVs. But there is one mainstream offering that they've been lacking up till now, and that is something that's a little bit more driver-focused. The closest they got was the previous generation Coupe, but thanks to its rather underwhelming 2-litre motor, it wasn't exactly the epitome of fun. Now though, they've changed that. They've gone over every last millimetre of that old model and come up with this: a better looking, better driving, more powerful Cerato Koup. It's a little difficult to decide which is the more important development here. The fact that they've built a car that looks that good, or the fact that they've fitted it with an engine that has some poke. We'll get to the engine formalities shortly, but for now let's take in what is a seriously good-looking car. A lot of people liked the old Coupe, but I thought it was a little bit too 80s looking with all its squared-off elements. But this is proper. It has that typical Cerato face, which isn't a bad thing in itself, but that's where the family look ends. This is one of those cars that's good to look at from every angle. The front is a bit menacing, the profile is genuine coupe, and the rear doesn't look over-designed or cheesy. With its double exhaust set into a black diffuser, it looks the part. There are a lot of details too. From the gloss black door handles to the two-tone wheels, every part of this car adds its own bit to the overall effect. Now, about that other important piece. The TGDI 4-cylinder turbo with 152 kilowatts and 265 newton meters. It is the only engine choice in the Coupe lineup, although you do have a choice of a manual or automatic gearbox. 0 to 100 time for our manual is 7.7 seconds, top speed 224 kilometers an hour. True, they aren't earth-shattering figures, but good enough to give the styling of this car the power it needs to be a convincing package. And thanks to a cleverly fitted exhaust system, it doesn't sound half bad on the move either. Kia says this new coupe will get by doing 7.2 litres per 100 k's while kicking out 170 grams of CO2 per kilometre. And it does it all in a very satisfying way. It's not massively quick off the line, but there is a steady surge of power, and thanks to good gearing, there's almost always power when you need it. Thankfully though, Kia haven't just concentrated on the power output, they've looked at all the other important bits too. In our manual test car, the gear shifts are short and sharp and the gates are tightly packed. A little too tightly packed when you first get going and you find yourself trying to pull off in third gear. Once you're used to that, and a clutch that takes very early, it makes the drive just that little bit more involving, and you really start to appreciate what the coupe is about. Of course, you can't just attach a decent gearbox to a good engine and then hope for the best. There is that third part of the equation, the ride setup, and Kia have got that right too. Firm enough without being uncomfortable, it does a very good job of handling this car's power. There were a few times when I was expecting and even tried to make this front-wheel drive understeer, and it just wouldn't. It's not all gas dampers and mechanical mastery though. The traction control does a good job of keeping things tidy. The selectable steering modes are a nice touch, not least because they're easily accessible, but in reality the steering always feels a little numb no matter what mode it's in. There is one place where there hasn't been a major improvement, and that's in here, although that's not a bad thing because it's still a top-class Kia interior. Good ergonomics, good materials, all finished off very well, and being a Kia, the standard spec list includes almost everything. For 335,000 Rand, there's almost nothing more you could ask for, from dual-zone climate control to a reversing camera, Bluetooth and keyless entry, which curiously will unfold the mirrors as you approach the car, but you still have to push a button to unlock it. The only extra on our test car is the sunroof, although Kia now has integrated sat-nav as an option as well. While you expect the space in the back to be typically coupe-like, there is a surprising amount of room, thanks to Kia expanding the cabin in all directions. Boot size is decent, although a little on the shallow side. The previous generation coupe needed a bit more power, but Kia didn't just chuck a turbo at the problem and hope that satisfied everybody. This new generation does have the extra power, but it's also got a ride setup that can handle it. It's got a very good manual gearbox, a great interior, all wrapped up in a very stylish package. And it is another Kia that is very difficult to fault. The 1600 Turbo has finally endowed the coupe with the kind of power that it's been asking for, without compromising the drive. The manual gearbox is a particular highlight. Improved looks, better comfort, more power and better handling. There's almost nothing this coupe can't deliver on. It's only the steering feel that doesn't quite measure up.